So this is the big change that I'm making in my photography. So a couple of months ago, I declared, or I announced, that's the word, that I am archiving all my work. And what I mean by that is that I am not selling any of my old photographs anymore. And it's because photography has been my full-time job for about 10 years. I've been doing it a long time before that. But it became my full-time job a decade ago. And so what ends up happening is, what ended up happening was I found myself kind of, cheekily dipping back into old work and kind of rehashing old photographs and kind of digging back through the archives. And the problem with that is that you kind of stop creating as much. And, the creating of the new work is the most exciting thing as a photographer. And so, you kind of essentially have this big dead weight of old work. And then also you kind of dig yourself into a hole about what people like and whatever. So I kind of need to get rid of that old season and then start new. But also, it was kind of like the last couple of years with AI and everything, I think a lot of people's trust of photography has gone down. And it was around the same time that I rediscovered film photography. And so I got in 2023 or 2024, I got the Canon AE1. And it's a really nice camera. You can get some really nice results. But the difference between going from my A7R4, which is a high megapixel camera, you've got, when you take photos, they're really clear, and you've just got this really beautiful field of view, and the images you get out of it are amazing. But then, kind of going to this, it felt like a bit of a downgrade. There's a lot more grain involved in these cameras. That you can get a beautifully clear image out of them, don't get me wrong. But I was just kind of I was excited about film, but I wasn't as excited about the results. And so I actually ended up discovering something that I hadn't really heard about before. As far as I know, I didn't really know about it. And it's called medium format photography. And so I discovered cameras like the Hasselblad 500cm, which I was dead set on purchasing. It was either that or the Rolleiflex 2.8, and I was just looking out for deals on them, looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I was going to purchase one of those. But in the meantime, before purchasing one, I ended up discovering the camera, which is, I'll grab it for you, is the Pentax 6.7. The beauty of this camera and many other medium format film cameras is, again, I'm going to show you. So here you've got the negative from a 35mm camera. This is from my Canon AE1. And then here is up the top there, and these two down the bottom are medium format film. So from the Pentax 6.7, you get a 6x7 centimeter negative. And the beauty of having the physical negative at that size is actually the quality is absolutely insane. I would say in a lot of ways, when you expose it correctly and when you actually take a good photograph, in a lot of ways it's more beautiful than some of the best digital cameras that you can purchase at the moment. And it's definitely more magical, I would say, in a lot of ways. But yeah, when you do what's called a drum scan from a medium format piece of film, you get a 2 gigabyte file. You get a massive file, and it's about 40 inches wide. And you just get a lot of detail, but you get a lot of beauty as well. And so when I discovered that I could get the kind of the magic of film, exposing light onto the film, and you're just gonna get this look that you can't really replicate with digital cameras. But then also the quality of the cameras that I was shooting with before as well, then I knew I had to jump ship. And so the reason why I'm making this video is because everything that I'm going to be shooting from here on out on my Instagram page, for as long as I know, for the foreseeable future, I'm shooting with this camera. And so it's incredibly hard to use. It's very clunky, very old, it's all manual focus, manual everything. And you only get, per roll of 120 film, you only get 10 photos in the Pentax 6x7. And so, with every photo, depending on what film you use and depending on what kind of you know, who you used to develop it and how much scanning is. It can be about $10 a photo. Every time you click the shutter, it can be around $10. And so it means that you just have to really think about every photograph that you take, and you know, which is a lot different to, I guess, digital photography. And that's the beauty of digital photography, is you can just take heaps and document heaps of photographs, and then, you know, just by doing it a million times, you're bound to get something. But then the beauty of, you know, film and medium format film is that you have to be a lot more intentional. And, you know, everyone says it slows you down. It definitely does. And so you miss a lot by shooting with this. But when you do finally get a photograph from this, it is absolutely beautiful. And so, yeah, and it's very tricky because if you under or overexpose, it's typically just not as good as it could be. And so you've really got to nail the exposure. You obviously got to nail the focusing as well. But yeah, I've been shooting with this for a good while now. I've also got a custom housing made for it, so I'll be sharing, so watch out for that video. If you have any questions about it, let me know. But this is what I'm going to be shooting with. And so this is what I'm shooting with. I've been shooting lots of behind the scenes content of taking photographs. How beautiful is this wooden handle? But yeah, so follow along if you want to see if I get any good photos out of this thing, or if I have to go get a job and quit photography altogether. So we'll see. Time will tell. Maybe AI will take over and I just won't exist anymore somehow. Anyways, so that's it. Bye.